from the man who wrote the book on human behavior, a special edition Richard Flint podcast. Let's talk about it. Let's talk human behavior.
Richard Flint is our guest today. I appreciate everyone coming to join me today on a free webinar, just trying to reach out to helping people, business owners, and this today's topic is good for anybody, not just business owners, but anyone can benefit from that. And so I was really trying to get that message out to people. But this webinar series is to help our small business owners weather the pandemic and be able to come out as strong or stronger on the other side of it. And we are learning that this is taking quite a bit of time, a lot longer than we thought it might in the beginning, as far as getting through this time of stress, and that when we do finally get through it, things are going to look differently than they do right now. So today's topic is one that my guest Richard Flint has extensive knowledge on. He is a international speaker, a keynote speaker. He's an author. He does this all the time. He's a pro, so I'm really excited to have him on here because I'm totally not a pro at this. And he's also a longtime friend and client of Todd and Company. So we're really excited to have him. And we are going to record this. It's being recorded right now so that we can share it out later on in case people registered and they couldn't make it. So without further ado, I am going to go ahead and turn over the webinar to Richard and let him do his thing. Richard?
Thank you, Jennifer. When Jennifer came to me and asked me if this is something that I would be willing to do, I jumped at the opportunity because we are a client of Jennifer's, and I find her to be very professional at what she does, as well as very, very good. You know, we are living in a unique time, and I listen to people talk about this being the new normal. It's not. This is actually the new abnormal. And if you look at it as the new normal, there's a trap built into that. But if you look at this as the new abnormal, that means there's another side to this. And that's what you and I have got to really pay attention to, is the fact that where we are right now, this too shall pass. But what Jennifer was talking about is so true. On the other side, it's not going to look like what we know now. So when we started talking about what it was that we wanted to do today, there was a word that came up that to me is a very important word. And that word is resilience. Now, I need for you to understand something. I've been working with human behavior for most of my life. And if I've been given one gift in life, it's the ability to take what looks confusing to people and show them a pathway to clarity or a pathway to understanding. And so as we're dealing with this new abnormal today, we need to understand that in business and in life, that there are two foundations, only two foundations that you build your choices and your decisions on. And as I'm working with business owners today, what I'm finding is that so much of the confusion, so much of the uncontrollable is being defined by which one of these two foundations they're using to make their decisions. Because you've got one foundation that's based in your belief, your trust, and your faith. And this is really important because when you look at these three as a foundation, they have a demonstration part to them that really begins to help you understand the emotional part of you. You and I either live from our emotions up or our mind down. And what I'm finding right now, because of the uncertainty of all of this, because of the unknown, because of the uncontrollable, that what's happening is that people, without realizing it, Many times, and many people who have lived from a foundation of belief, trust, and faith have slipped into the second foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty. So I think it's important that you understand which one of these two foundations you're working from. And how do you know? Well, there are characteristics that go with each of these. Like if you're living from the foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty, there are three more factors that are playing with here. And that is, if you have doubt, you're also very skeptical. And when I'm skeptical, what happens? I ask questions that are not questions that I can really answer. So rather than seeking facts, what I do is I ask questions that feed the uncertainty of all of this. And it is humanly impossible to live with the doubt without also living with worry. And I'm talking to so many people today about they're worried about what's going to be on the other side of this. Now, here's the interesting thing psychologically about worry. Worry creates anxiety. And what happens when you and I get anxious? Our emotions speed up. And every time that our emotions speed up, it puts us on a collision course with ourselves. And when doubt and worry join forces, they create uncertainty. Now, uncertainty, how do you know if you're dealing with it? Because you doubt, because you worry, you tend to procrastinate. You're not real sure what to do. So you sort of take a wait and see attitude. And every time you live with doubt, worry, and uncertainty, without you realizing it, you've set yourself up to be in a fog. You've set yourself up to put blinders on. You've set yourself up to paralyze yourself. Now, that top foundation there, the belief, the trust, and the faith. When you and I believe, and we have that sense of calmness within us, because when we believe, we have clarity. Now, most of us have never been through this before, but I tell you what you do have. You do have a library of experience in business where things have been upside down, that things have been out of your control, where all of a sudden you've been dealing with the unknown. And if you have that library of experience, because yesterday is a reference library, that's what it is. It's not a room to live in. If I live in yesterday, then I live with doubt, worry, and uncertainty. But if I visit yesterday looking for lessons, then I turn yesterday into that library that I can learn from. And if I can go back and find where life or business has been upside down and I've made it through it, maybe nothing like this, but if I can find that foundation that I can begin to believe in, what happens? It gives me a sense of clarity. I've been through not anything like this, but I've been through ups and downs. And you know what? I believe I've been there before. I believe that I'm going to come out on the other side. So once my belief is in place, then I start trusting myself. And when you trust yourself, there's a sense of calmness that goes with that. And then what happens? When belief and trust come together, I get to deal with a word. That's a critical word, and that is faith creates resilience. Now, here's what I need for you to know. This is a fact. The foundation that you're using to define how you're going to handle this time of this new abnormal, to handle what's happening in your life and your business, and which one of those foundations you create is going to create the direction that your decision making is going to take. If I live with doubt, worry, and uncertainty, the decisions I'm going to make are going to feed that pathway. And I'm going to implement behaviors in my life. I'm going to implement attitudes in my life that are going to strengthen that doubt, worry, and uncertainty. And what's that going to do? It's going to heighten the fog. It's going to increase my stress. it's going to leave me sort of paralyzed. But if I build on that foundation of belief, trust, and faith, what happens? Then I have that calmness, I have that clarity, I have that resilience. And even though the unknown is the unknown, faith can take the unknown and turn it into adventure. So each one of these foundations has a supporting cast that goes with it. When you're being guided by your belief, your trust, and your faith, one of the pillars that keeps you strong during these times of the unknown, the unpredictable, and the uncontrollable is resilience. Folks, I'm a student of human language. I think that every word has a power to it, be it a negative or a positive power. Every term has an element of power to it. So when I'm working with a business and I take on a very select group of businesses every year and I work with the leadership because I think leadership today is critical. Because if there's not leadership today, the people are going to be scattered. The people are going to be fed by the unknown. They're going to be fed information that's going to keep them not able to become a positive participant. And when I look at businesses today, what I'm looking for is the terminology that they're using to face this new abnormal. And when I look at words, the two most important words in language to me, not to you, but to me. Number one, the word to me that is the most powerful word in language is the word love. I think it is such an important aspect of life. And then the second most important word to me in language is resilience. Because resilience is a word that carries with it a tremendous amount of power. I'm known for my definitions. I've written 19 books. 3 of the books that I've written are dictionaries. And I have one dictionary that's called the Dictionary of Human Behavior. And in there is the word resilience. And all of my dictionaries, the Dictionary of Human Behavior, I have a dictionary on leadership and a dictionary on relationships. And all of them contain 150 words that we use every day of our life. And I've given them more of an updated definition. And when I look at the word resilience, this is my definition. And this definition is why this word is so important. It's why this word is so powerful. Because my definition says this: you can knock me down, but you can't keep me down. I will rise up stronger and more prepared. And can you see the power in that word? I mean, we've all been through times other than this new abnormal. We've been through times in life and in business where the rug has been pulled out from under us. And we didn't ask for the rug to be pulled out. We didn't ask for this to happen, but it's happened. So now what's going to happen? You got to face the fact this is real. You can't avoid what's happening. And you have to create how you're going to either react or respond to this. I'm a person who believes that all emotions travel in threes. Okay? And I think sometimes we limit ourselves because we only look at one word. So when it comes to the concept of success, because if you're in business, you're about success. You want to succeed. And so when we look at success, there's been a limited teaching because we teach success or failure. So if I'm not succeeding, I'm failing. Well, if you take just those 2 words, there's a lot of confusion. There's a third word that is a part of this triangle of thought that we don't deal with. It's about success, it's about failure, and it's about defeat. Now, defeat is when life pulls the rug out from under you and you choose to stay there. What do you think the foundation is that many times causes people to suffer defeat? The rug comes out from under them. This new abnormal, this virus comes at it. It takes our world that was so controlled, our world that maybe was calm, and all of a sudden it walked in, it pulled the rug out, turned us upside down, and left us feeling out of control, left us standing in an unknown. So if I reach down and I look at what's happening, and all of a sudden, all of my choices, my decisions are being based in my doubt, my worry, my uncertainty. You know what I've done? I've set myself up to not be able to get back up. And then you got that word failure. And understand 3 words: success, failure, defeat. Failure is the bridge. When life knocks you down, you have a choice. And people ask me, well, how do you define failure? I define failure with one word: fertilizer. Failure is fertilizer. Now, I live part of my life on a farm, and I've got one of my clients owns a barbecue company in Indiana. And it's real funny because they also they raise little piglets into big pigs. And they have 18,000 of them at a time that they grow. And I talked to Steve the other day and I asked him, what are you doing? He says, I'm shoveling manure. I said, you're what? He says, I'm shoveling manure. I said, well, why? He said, because we take the manure from the pigs and we turn it into fertilizer, because they also farm over 3,000 acres. And I thought about this. When life knocks you down, you're either going to lay there and suffer defeat, or you're going to take that which happened and you're going to use it as fertilizer. You're going to use it as the opportunity to grow. Because when you're down there, you got to make a choice. Am I going to succumb to doubt, worry, and uncertainty? Or am I going to get up with belief, trust, and faith? And if I get up, that's fertilizer. That's what I've needed to grow. Belief is fertilizer. Trust is fertilizer. Faith is fertilizer. And when I get up, strengthening my belief, my trust, and my faith in me, I give the accurate definition to success. Do you know what success is? It's taking the experiences of life and using those experiences to put one foot in front of the other. You know, I don't wish what we're going through on anybody, including me. But I know this. There is another side. I know this, that what I'm doing with my time right now is creating what I'm going to look like, what my business is going to look like on the other side. And what that picture is going to be, the picture that I'm drawing is going to be based on how I'm viewing my life. What is my foundation for decision making right now? And I'm going to tell you, you can come out on the other side much more powerful if you're standing with that foundation of belief that I can handle this. Trust. I have the skills. I have the experience. Faith. I have the resilience. And you can knock me down all you want, but you can't keep me down. And I am going to rise up stronger, and I'm going to rise up better prepared. So I believe there's power in this word resilience. And what is this resilience? What's the power in resilience? Watch this. Persistency. You know what? Show me anyone who is resilient, and I'll show you a person who is persistent. Yes, life is going to knock them down. Yes, uncontrollable, unknown, unpredictable is going to happen. Yes, they're going to deal with uncertainty. But when they have resilience, they have that belief, they have that trust, they have that faith that whatever life throws, I can work my way through this because of the foundation that I'm building from. Look at the power to the word resilience. Open to taking the necessary risk. You see, the reality is, and Jennifer and I were talking about this before we came on to do this, the landscape on the other side of this is not going to look the same as it's been. You're not just going to one day get up and walk back into the world of business and everything's going to be as normal. No, because we're in a time of the new abnormal. It's redesigning the landscape. And the redesigning, in many ways, is being done without your permission. So you're going to have a choice. I can sit there and look at the new landscape and fill myself with doubt, with worry, with uncertainty, and paralyze myself. Or I can realize that I can look at this new landscape and I can believe that I have the ability, I can trust in myself, I can have the faith that I'm going to know what to do. But to do that, I'm going to have to be willing to take a risk. I want you to hear me say this. When you're willing to step into the unknown with belief, trust, and faith, you turn the unknown into adventure. When you turn the unknown into adventure, you ignite the creativity to your mind. I'm going to tell you, there's something better on the other side, but you're going to have the belief, the trust, and the faith to be willing to take the risk. What's the power to resilience? You're willing to bend but not break. Now, what do I mean? When you take that risk, it's going to take you into a world where you're going to have to deal with change. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be back here with Jennifer, and we're going to talk about embracing change. And that's going to be a critical discussion, because you can fight change all you want, but you're not going to win. And change offers you the opportunity to improve. But to find that improvement, I got to be willing to bend. What do I mean? I got to be willing to be flexible. I got to be willing to adapt. I've got to be willing to adjust in order to be prepared for this newness that we're going to face in business. What's the power to resilience? Energy, effort, and experience to handle the fall. You know, I'm in the world of professional speaking. I speak to audiences all over the world. And I know that my world is going to look different probably for a year or so after we get through this. And that it could affect my energy. It could affect my effort. It could cause me to lose sight of my experience. But let me tell you something. I believe that I can make a difference in life. I believe and I trust in myself that I have the experience to be able to bring a message to people of hope, a message of going forward. And I have the faith that the opportunities are going to be there. So everything that I'm doing with my time right now is trying to help people to strengthen so that they can be better, they can be smarter, they can be stronger when they get to the other side. The power. It's a recharging port. Every one of us needs some place to go to recharge. And I'm going to tell you something. When life pulls the rug out from under you, there is an opportunity there to catch your breath. I don't know about you, but the theme for my life for many years has always been fast and furious. I mean, how many airplanes can I get on? How many speaking engagements can I do? And as we're going through this time of the new abnormal, I've got time to think. I've got time to reflect. I've got time to catch my breath. One of the things that I work with people on every day is the pace of their life. Before we hit this new abnormal, were you running fast? Were you trying to do a lot? Did you find that you ran out of time before you ran out of things to do? Huh? Have you found that one of the challenging adjustments right now is just slowing down? A lot of people don't know what to do when they're having to slow down because they're not used to that. Speed is not where success comes from. Pace that you can manage is where success comes from. And you either manage your business or your business manages you. And I'm going to tell you something. There's some great time right now. Some great time to take a look at your business. Great time to re-examine how you want your business to be. A great time to make some of the decisions maybe you haven't taken the time to make. And if you look at just these 5 words, if you just look at these 5 thoughts, how much power is in there? You want to know something interesting? Persistency builds consistency. And the more consistency I have in my life, the easier it is to be persistent doing the things I know I need to do. And yes, I'm going to have to take risk. I'm going to have to be able to adapt and adjust. And to do that, I'm going to have to see change, not as an enemy, but as the opportunity to improve. And that means that my energy, my effort, and my experience are going to become a critical part of how I view what the other side's going to look like. And I'm going to take the time that I have, and I'm going to make sure that I'm mentally, emotionally, and physically rested and ready for what's in front of me. So, what does resilience bring to your life? What does it look like? When you're resilient, I think there's a sketch that's made. And when you're resilient, here's what I think is. You refuse to allow situations and events to control you. Life's always going to throw something at you. Your business is always going to go through ups and downs. But when you have that resilience, what's your attitude? Come on, you can knock me down, but you won't keep me down because I have the belief, the faith, and the trust in myself that I'm going to get back up stronger. When you're resilient, you extract lessons and implement them. I think that this new abnormal can be a classroom. I think it can be an opportunity for you to look at your business, look at your life, and look at it from where do I need to improve? What behaviors do I need to improve? And you can create a priority plan where you start looking at what you're going to do to improve. You extract those lessons and you create your plan for the future by implementing what you're learning. When you're resilient, you strengthen your belief, your trust, and your faith. Is that where you're living from right now? I'm serious. Are you living from a foundation of belief, trust, and faith? Or are you more into doubt, worry, and uncertainty? Just remember, whichever one is your foundation is what you're using right now to make the choices, the decisions that you're going to come out on the other side with. When you are resilient, you invest in improvement and controlling your fear. Because I'm going to tell you, resilience says, I can be better. Resilience says, there's more for me to learn. I can be smarter. Resilience says, you know what? I can be stronger because I'm going to have that foundation where every day I'm going to work to improve. Because you know, if you give fear control of your life, you stop improving and you settle for what is. Someday, someplace, somehow, maybe we'll have an opportunity to talk about this. But from the day you're born to the day you die, you'll fight 6 fears. And I have 6 fears. Jennifer has the same 6 fears. You have the same 6 fears. The question is, what are you doing with them? Because one of them is the number one fear in your life. And that number one fear can hold you hostage. There's no certain order to it. There's the fear of the unknown, which is huge right now. There's the fear of abandonment. Right now, it could be what's going to be left of my business. There's the fear of rejection. There's the fear of success. There's the fear of failure. And there's the fear of loss. And we play with those 6 fears. They play with our life. And if we give into fear, then we slip into the foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty. But if I believe that I can learn from this, my resilience says I'm going to get up stronger. Then when I get to the other side, I'm ready to improve. When you are resilient, you lead through being the leader. And folks, a leader is not always the one who owns the company. A leader is the one who creates the vision that people will follow. Because I think a leader is someone who creates strength, that creates respect, that people listen to, that people believe in, that people trust, that people have faith in. And in so many companies that I go inside and I look at, what I find is I don't find a leader, I find a participant. You see, when I look at a company and I look at leadership, I look for 3 things. Has that leader created a common purpose? Does everyone understand what this business is about? Second, has that leader created a common agenda where we're all on the same page and we're walking together? And then third, has that leader created a common commitment where everybody knows we have each other's back? That's what a leader does. They create that common purpose where we're tied together by the reason we're in business. They create that common agenda where we're all on the same page and we're walking together. They create that common commitment where we know we're in this together. And let me tell you something. When you have resilience, you are a leader that brings leading through leadership. You insist on walking the recovery road. What does that mean? I'm going to find the pathway forward. I'm not going to give up because things have been out of my control. I'm not going to allow the unknown to take over my life, but I'm going to take that deep breath. I'm going to pause. I'm going to look forward, not backward. I'm going to stand in my now because my now is all I have. And I'm going to use this time right now to do what? I'm going to strengthen my desire that this is my life. This is my business. I'm going to strengthen my determination that yes, I've not been through anything like this, but I can draw from my library of experience and put together a platform that I can stand on. And then I'm going to be disciplined. And what I'm going to do is in my discipline, I'm going to hold my head up high. I'm going to be strengthening who I am. I'm going to provide the leadership. And I'm going to continue to march forward. I'm not going to give in to doubt, worry, and uncertainty because I'm going to live through my trust, through my belief, and my faith in myself and my ability to lead. When you are resilient, you embrace, not fight change. When we get together in 2 weeks, one of the things I want to talk to you about is what's the purpose of change? Change has a purpose. And then I want to show you why we fear change. Change can be one of the most frightening things that you ask any organization, any business, or any human to go through. And then I'm going to show you a 6-step process where you can take change and by accepting its purpose in your life, turn it into what you need to do to improve your business. So when you are resilient, you embrace, you don't fight change. And then when you're resilient, you don't give up. You learn from experience. And you're not going to give up. Yeah, this is not what you wanted. Yeah, this is not something that, you would have ever asked for. But it's challenging. And it's challenging you right now. It's challenging what everything in your life is going to look like on the other side of this new abnormal that we're dealing with. So this is a time to slow down. It's a time to look at what you want your business to look like going forward. It's a time to go back into your library of experience and find those places where the rug has been pulled out from under you before. And what did you do to create strength? And then resilience. When you are resilient, you take the high road. You live making wise decisions. And do you understand what a wise decision is? It's one where my decision is based in my belief, which gives me clarity, my trust, which keeps me calm, and my faith, which makes me resilient. And when I put those three together as the foundation for decision making, I'm going to make wise decisions. I did a podcast the other day on the opposite of wisdom. And to me, the opposite of wisdom is stupidity. And stupidity is where you let doubt, worry, and uncertainty have control of your life. And every decision you make just creates another mess you're going to have to clean up. Folks, these are challenging times that we live in. But there are times where we can grow because of them. And it's all going to come back to the foundation that you're using right now to make your choices, to make your decisions about what the future is going to live like. And I'd like to offer you something. One of my 19 books that I've written is this book here called The Truth About Stress. And I'm finding the stress level in people right now just really growing. And if you go to Amazon or if you go to any of the bookstores, the book retails for $14.95. I'd like to offer you a copy of my book for $7. Now, on the screen, it shows you how you're going to find it. You go to richardflint.com, you click on shop, and there you'll see the Flint shop, and you scroll down to the books. And there's the opportunity for you to order the book for $7. And I promise you this, it will be one of the best reads, not because I wrote it, but it'll be one of the best reads because it's going to show you how to bring the calmness, the clarity, and the confidence to your life in the midst of life being turned upside down. You hear me say this, stress is a silent killer. And the stress in our world today is increasing because people are working from the wrong foundation. There are a couple of things we're doing that I'd just like maybe you'd mark your calendar and maybe join us next Friday, 10 o'clock. We do an open classroom on Zoom where we asked a question and we just let people answer the question. We just finished it this morning and it's just a time of sharing and people need to be sharing with each other right now. And then if you would go to that little thing right there called richardflint.e.junkie.com, there are 47 47 pieces of information there that can help you strengthen your life. So I want to put this as my last thought in front of you. Every decision you make defines whom you are as a leader. The stronger your foundation of belief, trust, and faith, the greater your resilience. The greater your resilience, the greater your presence as a leader. And then here, this last thing is probably the most second powerful thought that I've ever put together. The role of every leader is to create a positive presence that is present when they aren't present. So you're going to make a choice. And I hope your choice is to build your foundation on belief, trust, and faith. Jennifer, that's all I got to say. Unmute yourself. You're still muted.
Real quick, there we go. Sorry about that. I was trying to preempt any dog barking or anything like that. Husbands coming in, you know, that sort of thing. We are still working from home. I am so excited about your that offer that you made, and I want to make a second offer, and that is Todd and Company will purchase those books for the people that are on here live with us today. So as a special treat for joining us, if they are interested in a copy, have them email me. They all have my email address, and I will make sure they get a copy. Because that's just,
you just reach out to Denise and she'll take care of it.
okay. That's a gift. I just, you know, want people to know that that we're thinking about them, and that that we want to provide them value. So that's just a little gift from us. The other resource that you have that I wanted to share real quick is the morning minute that you do. If they enjoyed this conversation that we just had about resilience, then they will probably enjoy a little tidbit every morning that they can sign up for too. So that's kind of neat. So I was going to open it up for any questions. I wasn't sure if we had any questions from anybody. I don't see any being answered, but we have plenty of time. We have about 15 minutes that we're going to stay on, and we can cut it short. Or if you have anything else, Richard, you would like to add. But it's funny because a lot of what you said rings so true to me. What I've been experiencing as a business owner, a small business owner, and then I haven't really had a lot of time to actually think about my own business because I've been so busy trying to help our small business owners and even the people that we do taxes for. We have a lot of people that you know, need to get filed for whatever reason, and so we've been really trying to work through all that. But a lot of what you said, I took literally, I think 5 or 6 pages worth of notes. But let me see. One of the things that you said that you and I actually talked about right before, and we're on the same wavelength. What we are doing with our time right now is creating what we are going to look like on the other side. And so that is the whole purpose of these webinars. What I'm trying to do is kind of get people out of panic mode and know that we can be proactive. A lot of people are reactive right now. We're reactive too, like with those crazy PPP loans and all that stuff. But we can also be proactive and try to be use that power of resilience. And it's all about mindset and having a growth mindset. And that's the key to resilience, is that positive thinking and knowing that and I'm a highly anxious person. So this has been really helpful for me, Richard. I really appreciate you coming on, and I hope that we get a lot of people on our Embracing Change webinar as well. But I'm thankful that you're able to pull me out of that anxiety spiral that I get in.
Jennifer, if people will just realize those 2 foundations that they build on. Yeah. And I see it in everybody. You know, I can sit and talk with anybody for 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll tell you which foundation they're building on. And they just don't understand that with each of those foundations, there's a pathway that they walk, and that their life and their business is actually going to be based on which one of those 2.
Right.
And what I've seen in even some business owners right now, that before this, they had a strong foundation of belief, trust, and faith, but that has been challenged. And right now, because of the fact there's so much unknown in this, they've slipped down into doubt, worry, and uncertainty. And
Mhm.
they've just got to slow down, take a deep breath, and get themselves back to that element of belief, trust, and faith. Because when you're there, the whole purpose becomes resolute. It becomes resolution. It's responding. At doubt, worry, and uncertainty, we're reacting, and when we react, we become our own worst enemy.
That's very true. Very true. Well, I'm not seeing any questions come up through our people, but if you want to, let's see, I wanted to share real quick if I can figure out how to share my screen really quickly. I'm going to do that, and I want to show people your website in case they haven't seen it. So I'm going to try to do that real quick. Hopefully, I'm sharing now. Everybody see the website here, Richard's website? So he does have a lot of resources available. Again, Todd and Company will be happy to send you a copy of his book, the stress book that he was just talking about. But he's got some online training. He's got lots of seminars that he does, and he does one-on-one coaching with business owners and leaders. And then, unfortunately, your retreat in Florida this year, you've gone ahead and rescheduled that, I believe, right, to next year because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I was just really fearful, Jennifer, because we get 200 people at our summer conference, and I was fearful not knowing what the future is going to look like. And
Okay.
so we've moved our big summer conference, but we will continue to do our small retreats that are limited to 15
Oh,
people.
okay.
And that's our next small group retreat that's coming up, Decluttering Your Clutter.
Okay.
And it is going to be October 1 through 4
Okay.
in Florida, in the Palm Beaches in Florida.
Okay, great. For those of you that don't know, Richard Flint Inc. is actually based here in Newport News, but Richard travels between Florida and Newport News, so he is a local business. So we want to definitely support our local businesses too. Um, well, let me see. I'm going to unshare my screen here again if I can figure out how to do that. Gonna unshare. Stop sharing. Right?
That's it.
My back.
No,
Stop sharing. There we go.
there you go. There
There goes a
you are.
little red button, right? All right. Well, thank you, Richard, so much for coming on. Again, we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Actually, the week after next. Next week, we're going to be talking with Bob Spiker, another longtime friend and client of Todd and Company, about cybersecurity issues, especially things that are happening because of the pandemic. And then how to thwart that. He's an expert in all things IT. He is also a ID Shield representative, so he knows a lot about identity theft, and he's just really knowledgeable about a lot of different topics. So I look forward to talking to him about that. So I hope people can join us for that. And then the week after, we're going to have Richard back about embracing change, which goes hand in hand, as you could see from the presentation he did today. Embracing change is a big part of being resilient. If you can't be adaptable and embrace change, you're not resilient. So that's a big part of that. So I'm excited. Do you have anything you want to say about that, Richard, before we go?
Well, just always right now, pay attention as you're making decisions. Which one of those two foundations are you using for your decisions? It will create who you will be and what you will look like in life and business on the other side.
Yes, thank you so much. And we got a little bit of feedback. Jackie says, thank you, Richard. Great info. We appreciate her. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end now. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.